Good evening, everybody. How are you? That's energy. I love it, Ken. That's really cool. I thought I needed to do this like 5 times in order to. So perfect. I will ask everybody. I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Carlos Cobian. I'm a Puerto Rican born and raised entrepreneur here. I founded a company called Cobian Media, and I do a couple of projects in Puerto Rico, including the H2 Tech Conference, Animals, AgroHack, and other projects in digital marketing and recruiting and stuff like that. Uh, Ken asked me to be the host tonight, or the MC. Yo, 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 yo. I'm going to be the MC. and I'm very happy to be here again. Thank you, Ken. I see a lot of familiar faces and then a lot of new faces, too. So this is pretty cool. I believe that the technology and startup ecosystem in Puerto Rico, it's growing at a fast pace. In the last 3 years, many good things had happened, and tonight, and this project is one of them. So, Manny, you want to say something? No, no, okay, no. So a good friend. Be careful with that guy. First of all, I want to present to you the agenda. I'm supposed to speak for 10 minutes. Even welcome, a working facilitation, and that's a surprise. We're going to have Gustavo Diaz from Hustle Houses, Giancarlo Gonzalez, the future of government digital services. This is our former CIO. Coralie Castro, Font from Startup Popular. And then Ken Kay, he's going to talk about Parallel 18 and the selection process. And then open announcements. So we're going to invite anybody that wants to come to the microphone and make an announcement or something. Open mic, open mic night. Okay, so that is going to happen there. We're going to start with Miguel Vacas, and then I need to do an announcement. So the people who know me, So, okay. So the first thing we want to do is like get out of our comfort zones and stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. We're gonna do something cool. We want to break the ice. Okay. So the purpose of this, usually, what happens always is this: you get to a place, and you meet or hang out with the people that you know, right? And I see everybody here like old partners, So I want to give you 30 seconds to move around the place, okay, and grab one person by the hand, one person, and you cannot know this guy, okay? 30 seconds. When I say stop, you grab that person, and then in 30 seconds, you're gonna make a pitch to him about you, and then you're gonna switch, and the other person is gonna do a pitch to you about him. So the idea is that you get to know some new people. It's an elevator pitch. Hey, my name is Da. This is what I do. I'm good at this. I suck at this. And this is what I want to get out of this event. Pretty simple. Okay? So when I say one, you start moving around. When I say stop, grab somebody by the hand. And then you start. 30 seconds and 30 seconds. Okay? 3, 2, 1, move. Move around, move around, move around, move around, move around, move around, and stop. Introduce yourself. Okay, now change. Okay. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Okay. Now nobody wants to speak. Now everybody wants to keep talking, right? Okay, remember that face, remember that name. At the end, what we're going to do is get these conversations going, and then build bridges and build good relationships. Thank you. Give it a round of applause to everybody. Cool, cool. Okay, so the first presenter is Gustavo Diaz. Gustavo Diaz is the founder of Young Entrepreneur Organization of Puerto Rico. He's also the founder of Hustle House, and he wants to present that project to you guys. He's very exciting, young guy, very energetic, another community builder in Puerto Rico, working hard to make our ecosystem strong. Give it, please, a big round of applause.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Okay, so by a show of hands, how many of you guys are entrepreneurs? Raise your hand. Awesome. Did you guys start when you were 40 years old? Raise your hand. Okay. When you were 30, raise your hands. Okay. What if you... Awesome. Okay, so question. What if you were to start when you were in your teens? When you were 21st or 22 years old? Imagine living in a room, in a house, in a dormitory where all of you guys are entrepreneurs. All of you guys have an access to a pool of mentors from distinguished organizations in Silicon Valley that have raised millions of dollars or impacted the lives of millions of people, or even done both. So, the project I'm going to present to you guys today, it's called Hustle Houses. And I'm gonna let you guys know what hustle means.
If I asked you to think about a myth, you would probably think dragons, griffins, or, I don't know, elves. But there exists a myth far more ridiculous, but strangely more closely held. It is believed by grown adults, not merely children at the age of 12. It is the myth that we work for someone other than ourselves. The truth is, we are the sole carvers of our careers, the designers of our destinies. You may have a boss and a 9-to-5, yep. But let's be real, your life is a DIY project. Every minute we choose how we live it, how we give it. Listen, everyone is self-made, but often only the successful will admit it. And what is the difference between successful and unsuccessful? Could it be natural talent, resources, or maybe muscle? No. It is one word, one verb. Hustle. Hustle. Derived from the 17th century Dutch word hutselen to mean shake or shuffle. Which makes sense, because if you plan to shake up this world, then you have to hustle. That is the secret. That is the reason Michelangelo said, if you knew how much work I put into my art, you would not call it genius. See, this is for those modern day Michelangelos who know that hustle is worth more than money. It is more important than skill. It is the will to follow your heart and not wait for the right time, but to create the right time. And like Wi-Fi, to connect with like minds, because only through connection do we really start winning. I mean, truly start living. So here's a piece of advice before I reach my ending. If you fuel your hustle with connecting, loving, serving, and giving, and take no days off, then I guarantee your sweat equity will one day soon pay off.
So, hustle. It derives from the word from the 17th century called hustlin, which means to shake things. And if we plan to shake things up in this world, from here, in our home of Puerto Rico, we need to collaborate with each other. We need to live together to that extent, so the information and the knowledge that we're constantly knowing and learning, we can be shared between all of us, and all of us can grow together. So this concept of a hustle house started up in the Mecca of Silicon Valley, where all these kids were just dropping out of college or stopping out, and we have an example of many of them right here. I'll get to them later. So we talked to them, how can we do this in Puerto Rico? And we've partnered up with more than 8 co-living spaces from around the world. And we're going to start what we call a co-living revolution in Puerto Rico. So this dormitory, it accounts with more than just space to work. It's a space to party. It's a place to chill out and relax and have fun. It accounts with amazing places like bunk beds. You can either have a bunk bed of a real bed and a hammock, or you can really have just two squished tight beds where you can just cuddle up and be happy with each other. And there's also dinner. And this is what we believe in. It's the dissemination and the shared knowledge of what each and every single one of us have and possess that someone else might need. And this is, you guys might know me from Cenas Empresariales, and this is the concept behind everything. We believe that sitting down, getting on one-to-one, creates a way to share what we know, share what we can have, and all the culture goes around that, around a dinner table, around a plate of food. So I hope you guys join us in this adventure of what the Hustle House is, and come have food with us, come party, come live with us. Because at the end, there's a bunch of people who are betting for Puerto Rico. And these kids are starting to fly in May 1st to help out the local economy. All of them represent institutions like MIT, Stanford, TEDx, Rough Draft Ventures, Draper University, Harvard, the FDA, Babson, NASA, United Nations, Dorm Room Fund, Y Combinator, Mark Cuban Company. All of them will be flying in for the next 2 years and staying in the island for 7 days. And they're going to be staying in the Hustle House, your next future home. So if you want to, guys, learn more, go to hustlehouse.com. Give us a text, shoot us an email, we'll respond. Welcome to your new home. Thanks.
He's a former CIO of Puerto Rico, and he's Giancarlos Gonzalez.
Good evening. How are you? I'm going to tell you a story tonight that it may move me to tears at some point, just be advised, because it's very personal and I'm very passionate about it. And I really believe in it as a pillar to helping Puerto Rico out of the mess that it's currently in. So quickly, a little background of when I served as CIO of Puerto Rico, there were 3 major influences in my work. One of them was Code for America. It's an organization that's called like a Peace Corps for programmers, very influential in the United States. They were in Puerto Rico for a year. Gov.uk, it's the England Digital Service. It's considered the crown jewel of effective digital services in government. And the U.S. Digital Service, that's the other logo. It's a new federal agency created by President Obama to deliver better digital services in the federal government. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the influence these 3 entities had and what I'm doing with them. Before I do that, let's everybody imagine something with me. Imagine a government that is pre-installed in your iPhone or in your Android, and that you can click on it and see latest updates, comment or vote, pay, call your representative, and it's really just in the convenience of a simple app in your phone. Imagine that when you lose your job, you automatically get a text message from the Departamento del Trabajo saying, Carlos, sorry we lost your job. We just activated your unemployment insurance. It should reflect in your bank account in a few hours. Remember, we have your back and we wish you the best as you search for a new job. Automatically. This stuff is not impossible. Imagine that, there's an open, updated crime map in your area and you get a text message from the police department that says, hey, there's been 5 bike thefts. Take a picture of the serial number of your bicycle. We'll store it in our database because if it gets stolen, we'll be able to recover it quickly. Everything I just mentioned is part of a process called delivery. And what delivery means is the continual process of understanding and meeting user needs. Everything should be focused on the user, and you build apps and solutions from there. You don't build policy before that. So how this works is you define user needs, you build software that delivers on those user needs, and that software learns about those user needs, and that defines the operations. And from there, that's how you define the policy that should be legislated to deliver services to these users. You don't do it the other way around. You're going to waste a lot of money. So let's see a quick example here. If you haven't lived in Puerto Rico and you've lived in other places, you may have used an app that tells you when the bus is coming in and when the subway is coming in. Yet in Puerto Rico, as CIO, I was there for 2.5 years, and I could not deliver to the end user an app that showed when the public bus is going to show up. But we built it, and I saw it in my phone, and I could see the buses moving, and I could not deliver this to citizens. Why? We had a tech summit, the first one, 6 months into my job. 200 hackers showed up, and one of the apps was the buses moving around in a phone. And that guy sitting next to me, you see me sitting down? Okay, the guy sitting next to me, that's the Secretary of Department of Transportation. Why he did not employ these hackers to be in his office to deliver this, I still don't know. But we did not deliver the app. And why did that happen? We need a system where we put people first and we focus on delivering to them what they need and then building around that. And the best person to explain, the best example I have about this is from Tom Loosemore. He was the former deputy director of the UK Digital Service, and he talked about government as a platform, opening up GPS data, opening up anything to build better services. This is the most innovative digital government agency in the world. And in his Code for America speech, he said, we are not being bold enough. Not nearly bold enough. Not even close. So we're talking about an agency that perhaps I emulated to be something like that, and he's telling everybody there, hey, you know something? I wasn't even nearly as bold. Because we're not here to change government websites. We're here to change government. And new public infrastructure, digital infrastructure, requires new public institutions. And I'm going to read a quote from what he says because it's just, I can't say it better. He says that the first nation to create new institutions that make the most of the internet will win big. If we genuinely reshape government to have institutions of the internet era, it will provide a new foundation and digital infrastructure for your whole nation to support new enterprise, new organizations, new cultures that were previously unimaginable. And if you can't put this into perspective, let me just give you a simple example. How many of you here have used GPS? Raise your hand. Okay, GPS was a private military program, and through a crucial policy decision, it was opened up to be used by everything else, and it created a $6 billion industry. We in Puerto Rico have a lot of data, a lot of technology that could be opened up, and it would create a lot of other opportunities that we could export. And again, it's unimaginable. I don't even have any idea of how many great things we could do. But I know that we need a new institution for a natively digital nation. And where has this happened? Well, it happened at the White House. The UK and the US collaborated heavily in technology development. And in 2012, this is the structure of the White House. It looks something like this. We had the Office of Science and Technology Policy. They had Todd Park as director here. 2 or 3 programmers were in these offices. And then we had the program White House Innovation Fellows. They had programmers in different agencies working on small little projects. But it was a small group of people, and they weren't able to deliver on much because the structures in government were still the same. And they were fighting against that. And what happened? Healthcare.gov failed. It was estimated that it was going to cost $300 million and $40 million to maintain. And when it failed, they had to bring in the small groups, the small teams that they had in here. Some had left. They brought them back. This guy right here, Todd Park, he recruited Mikey Dickerson and a bunch of other people, and he said, guys, we just need your help. They show up at the White House. They're with the president, and they're telling Mikey, you know, this is a mess. We fucked up. Can you fix this? And they're all looking at him like, and then one of them just says, yeah, we can do it. In 3 months, they fixed it for less than $2 million, something that was originally estimated to be $300 million. Now tell me, do you guys really think it takes $37 million to fix the Hacienda financial system? That's bullshit. Okay? Now, and you can't and you can't legislate it to then build it. We got it the other way around. So these guys go in and they fix healthcare.gov, and what that brings in is a cultural revolution. Because they tell the president, well, Mr. President, we're bad at building software. And he says, well, what do we need to do to be better at it? And they say, well, we got to build a new agency, and it's called the U.S. Digital Service. And they brought in a team of the best developers, hackers, designers in the world. And they started recruiting a group that's called 18F. It's working at the General Services Administration. And they provide direct technology services to every single agency, and they have what they call air cover support from the White House. Now, this is how it looked in 2013. This is how many people there are now. So it went from 20 to 30 people to over 150 people today, 2 of which were my former and only employees as CIO of Puerto Rico, Andrés Colón and Alberto Colón. Andrés trabajó con Pedro. You may clap about that, but what that does really is piss me off, because I know the talent that we needed to have here. Why is it there? Why did we identify the best talent here and they ended up giving it a better shot there? So some people that are working there, Twilio, Amazon, Pinterest, Facebook, when we interviewed, it was myself and 2 of my members. I decided to stay here. My daughter was born a month ago. It was hard to move. But the person that interviewed me was Evan Cook. I had no idea who Evan Cook was. I went to the interview. Then I walk out and I look, let me see who this guy was. And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, this is the founder of a billion-dollar company, and he is interviewing the people that are going to go work at the federal government to fix things. So now they're establishing a structure of how things should work at every single agency, and they're recommending you have to have a CTO as Chief Innovation Officer, Chief Development Officer, and a bunch of developers in each agency to fix and make things work. And I can't say this enough. From the president down, the recruitment effort is moving. So President Obama was at South by Southwest, which is the biggest technology conference in the United States, and he was there telling people there that you are in a position to contribute to the federal government in ways that nobody else can, and we need you. We don't need you doing a startup to deliver laundry services. We have 20 of those. We actually need you inside the federal government to deliver better services to millions of citizens. So he's actively recruiting the people that are going out to work here. So let me go into something a little more touches the fiber. This is a piece of document from the fiscal control legislation called Promesa. Now everybody's complaining about Promesa, and I'm not going to go into a lot of the things that may be bad about Promesa, some things that may be good. I'm going to go into the sentence that is important to me, and it's the following. It says, general assistance in achieving financial stability and management efficiency. Management efficiency. And it says, avoiding interruptions in the delivery of services. Okay, hold that thought. The bill says this. Now, let's hold that thought. Avoiding interruptions in the delivery of services. This is Haley Van Dyke. She's one of the co-founders of the U.S. Digital Service. Haley will be in Puerto Rico June 7th. I'll tell more a little bit about that later. But she recently gave a TED Talk, global TED Talk. And in her presentation, I just want to show you what it says. The strategy is delivery. The strategy is delivery. So, avoiding interruptions in the delivery of services plus the strategy is delivery to me means that the U.S. Digital Service is the answer to that. And what I'm here telling you is that I am actively looking to achieve sustainable long-term technologically enabled change inside that fiscal board. So Haley will be in Puerto Rico June 7th for the Tech Summit. She's going to be presenting along with 4 other members of the U.S. Digital Service. They will be discussing what they're working on, how they're doing it, and what lessons could we apply. And what am I going to do? Well, right now I'm personally lobbying for the USDS to have a role in Puerto Rico. I'll be visiting Washington, D.C. May 11th to the 14th, meeting with Megan Smith, USCTO, and we're actively discussing how we can have the USDS perhaps form part of that fiscal board or be the technology advisory entity of this fiscal board. Because if their strategy is delivery and we're going to have major operational issues here, this is the only way to do it. I'm also working with local candidates here in Puerto Rico to sign a petition that I'm working on to support a USDS structure for Puerto Rico. And really, it's 4 simple things. We just need to make sure that we hire the best for the job, period. Right? Andres and Alberto shouldn't be in D.C., they should be here. The best hackers should be here. We hire the best lawyers. We hire a lot of other people in government. We don't hire the best technology talent. And if we could hire it, we don't give them the opportunity to execute as they should. So we need a new legal structure. And it did pass the Senate, PSSA 14. They killed it at the House. Bastards. And we need something to focus on delivery. So focusing on delivery, and then what President Obama calls air cover. President Obama says, as long as I provide these people with air cover, we're going to be able to do anything that we need. And what does he mean by air cover? He means that no lobbies can pick up a phone, call somebody, and bash a tech guy's recommendation. This is how they get things done in Washington, and this is how we're going to get it done here. So what can you do, and what am I asking from you? I have a blog. It's called johnguns.com, and I created a registry. There's a button called, it says register, and the URL says Rebel Alliance. And it's really, I'm trying to build a database of the best hackers, people like that guy right there that the laser is pointing at, people like him, those 2 guys right there, those would be my bodyguards. Pablo, stand up. Not just my bodyguard, he would be my tech bodyguard. There we go. Yes. Those are the people that can save Puerto Rico and push it into a new age. And we need to build the biggest, baddest database of these people ready to serve, not just from Puerto Rico, but from the U.S. I'm going to get some people from the U.S. Civil Service in there. I'm going to build it because either through the fiscal board or through the local politicians or through both, we're going to build this team, and I'm going to have the people ready to come in and fix this. Thank you.
2 years ago, I came up with this idea of the H3 Tech Conference. It's Hackers, Hustlers, and Hipsters. It's a conference to promote collaboration between these 3 sectors. Back then, I went out and tried to get sponsorship for these events. Doing events is very tough. It's a losing proposition. And then I went to this bank. It's a centenary organization in Puerto Rico called Banco Popular. And I met with the marketing department, and I told them, hey, I have this idea. I want to do it. And they just saw the deck, and they're like, okay, we're in. And this is startups. Back then, it means nothing to the business of Banco Popular at the moment. And they're like, we're in. I'm like, okay, cool. So and then they said, and we're figured out how we're gonna put our logo there after. And I'm like, this is cool shit. You know, I was presenting to everybody, and I was having a very hard time getting sponsorship. So they sponsored. And then I told them, you know what? You have a problem. And she looked at me like, what is it? I'm like, you have a credibility problem because you're the biggest bank. You're giving loans to people, but you know, the current situation of the economy, you're not giving loans, really. So you're doing this campaign of entrepreneurship and everything, but you're not giving loans. You have you're going to sponsor these startups, but what are you going to do for the startups? And she told me, you tell me. And I told her, you want me to tell you? Yeah. Send me something. And I was like, shit, why So I went back home, and I developed like a 3-page PowerPoint. It's like, this is, I think, what you have to do. This is a fund, get a sponsorship budget for events. And this bank is doing a lot for a program called Echar Palante, which is doing good, in the education, entrepreneurship, very committed to the PYMEs, small, medium enterprises, not for the startup community in tech. And then after, she called me and said, like, we have it. And they did it. And it's called Startup Popular. So these people have been in Puerto Rico for 100 years. They've been very committed. My father worked there for 30 years. And they are doers, they're innovators, and I think it's good for everybody and for you to know this story because they're getting shit done. Okay? So now I want to present Corali Castro from Startup Popular. Please give her an applause.
Thank you, Carlos. Yes, we have been going through a brainstorming process, identifying ideas. We have gathered a lot of feedback from many of you here in the room. And I'd like to share my story or with the program Startup Popular. It has been very, very exciting. So one day we were sitting in a room and the president, sits there and suddenly looks at us and says, we were talking about this issue for a while and it's been, it's been a constant topic, and he finally says, entrepreneurs need more attention from the banking sector. We are committed to support new business creation and promote economic development. So we said, okay, we have to do something. It's our time. So we were very excited with the task we had at hand and how we could put this vision into action. We quickly put a team of people from different areas of the bank and drew a list of all the ideas that had been talked about in the past and things that had come up recently. And we had a pretty good list of a lot of things that we could do. And then we decided to talk to the entrepreneurs locally. And for our surprise, and I think many of you will agree, the one thing that they said that they needed the most was easier access to financing, right? So how many of you would agree with that statement? Correct. So we decided, we had this big list of things that we wanted to do, but we had to focus on one and start from there. So we were going to focus on financing. We knew that. So then we went back and looked into our current lending policies and what we were doing, what our lending structures were. And then we found that it was harder for businesses that had less than 2 years of operation to obtain loan approvals. So we said it's a good way to focus first on these businesses. And then we said, let's look at the businesses that have no current outstanding debt. Those businesses that really need their first push in building their credit history with a bank. So we had our target, we had our market, and now, we had to figure out how we could make this possible, how we could make it possible for this type of business to absorb a loan and for us as a bank to finance these businesses. So we built a financing program with a very specific and special structure. First, no collateral is required. So for many of the new businesses, it was difficult to come up with equipment, with a house, with a car as collateral. So no collateral is needed. Second, the credit score thresholds were lower. We found that when entrepreneurs were not claiming a salary, their credit scores could get affected. So we lowered the thresholds of our credit approval structures. Secondly, we implemented a more streamlined process, and we tweaked the way we were doing the credit evaluations for this specific program. So then we came up with loans of up to $50,000 with this credit structure. And we said, we not only want to do financing, we want to see what else we can do to help contribute to these businesses' success and guide them to their success. So we incorporated coaching. The coaching is not provided by Banco Popular executives. It's not our business. We are partnering with an external organization, 100 Ventures, run by Nerma Albertorio. And she's providing these businesses with monthly coaching sessions. And lastly, networking. We're the largest commercial bank in Puerto Rico. We have over 70,000 commercial clients. So we said we have an opportunity of matching startups, new businesses with established businesses, and even creating a community between the businesses that form part of this financing program. So we decided that, we wanted to build a complete program, not only put money out there, but also do anything that we could that was in our power to help these companies reach success. So that's our financing program. And now I'd like you to meet some of our Startup Popular clients. Maybe some of you have seen this video, but I'd like to share it with you again.
A través del programa de Startup tenemos muchas posibilidades para lograr los objetivos profesionales, ¿verdad? Y en términos corporativos.
Me enteró del programa Startup gracias a un gran amigo, gracias al Facebook, que ahí pudimos verlo, nos gustó y dijimos, este es el programa que necesitamos.
Presentar la propuesta fue muy fácil porque se sometió online y el servicio fue muy ágil por la sucursal y sus representantes.
Una de las cosas que más me interesó es que nos están dando coaching empresarial durante todo el proceso y eso es bien importante cuando montamos nuestro negocio.
Para esos emprendedores o esas personas que quieren dar ese primer paso y montar su negocio, siempre teniendo cuál es la meta clara y hacia dónde se quiere llegar.
Que desarrollen su plan de trabajo, que sean originales, diferentes, que cuenten con el Banco Popular y con Startup para echar hacia adelante su proyecto.
So, as you can see, needless to say, it has been very exciting working with these businesses. It's a very diverse group of clients. We have received interest from mainly food and beverage and retail services, but we have seen tourism, technology, green energy, health services, agriculture, a little bit of everything. So it has been very, very, very interesting. And when seeing the video, I remembered I missed out a very important part of the financing program. For those of you that think that it might be of use to you in the future, the first year of the loan, you get lower payments. So for the first 6 months, you have a moratorium on principal, so you pay only 3% interest rate, and the consecutive 6 months, you start paying principal 1% a month. So on the first year, you have lower payments, which makes it easier for the small businesses or the new businesses to be able to make the payments on a monthly basis. Another interesting fact has been that we have seen interest from all over the island. Part of the credit evaluation is a visit to these businesses, so it has been very exciting. We've gotten to know very beautiful parts of Puerto Rico. Even Vieques, we have 2 businesses in Vieques, both in the tourism sector. One of them saw an opportunity to improve the transportation sector in Vieques, and he's currently renting scooters, and he's going to bring on new golf cart type of transportation. Very cool, where you can put your little fridge and everything for the beach, so it's awesome. And we also have a business that does bio-bay tours in kayaks, and he needed to upgrade his equipment with clear kayaks so you can really see the effect of the bio-bay. So what is it that we want to achieve? This is our first step. This is only the beginning, but we want to make sure that the banking sector is paying attention to entrepreneurs. We want to make sure that we are collaborating with the entrepreneurial ecosystem and that we are contributing to the success of economic development in Puerto Rico so that entrepreneurs can be competitive not only in Puerto Rico but in the global landscape. So we know there are many things that we can do still, so this is the first step. The first financing round ended in January 31st. We will be opening a second financing round for those of you that are interested. And if I have spiked your interest, or you might have come up with other ideas of how we as a bank can collaborate in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, please feel free to reach out. We are open to ideas, suggestions, concerns, anything that we can do. So stay tuned.
Meetup. And he's going to be presenting and talking a little bit about Parallel 18 and the learnings and the process of the selection process of the current startups that just started in Puerto Rico. Please give him an applause.
Thank you. Wow, it's going to be hard to follow up those 3 presenters. First one, startup communes. Second one, the revolution in Puerto Rico. And third is what everyone wants, financing. So I don't know how I'm going to top that, but I'm going to start by asking all of those in the audience who are currently in the Parallel 18 program to stand up and be acknowledged. Please stand up. Let's give them a round of applause.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm very excited about the program because we have tremendous entrepreneurs, and Puerto Rico is very well represented. I think roughly 30% of the companies are from Puerto Rico, and I'm hoping that we can keep that up. I'm a little bit concerned that we're going to run out of good companies and entrepreneurs. And so the reason I'm here today is to tell you what the selection process is and how you can better prepare yourself to get in. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Parallel 18 is probably the biggest thing that has ever happened to the innovation community in Puerto Rico. It's $40,000 equity free. Let's just start with the numbers here. $40,000 equity free. What does equity free mean? Well, most programs called accelerators take a little bit of equity from your company, take a piece of your company in return for the capital they give you. This is completely free of that overhead, so it's free money, basically. It's a 5-month acceleration program for high-impact startups. It includes co-working space, access to a wide network, and a soft landing process, which is not relevant for those of you who are from Puerto Rico. That's for internationals who are coming here. Okay. All right, so the overall selection workflow is as follows. There are 3 big steps. The first is the open portal, which is where you go on the website and fill in an application. Then there's a filtering process, which is actually executed by an outside organization, which I'll talk about. And the final step is the selection board, which I was a member of. And after that one meeting, the winners are announced and then invited to join the program. Okay, so the company that does the initial filtering is called UNoodle, and this is a company that specializes in filtering companies for accelerator programs. It's such a global phenomenon that there's apparently a market for these services. So what they do is they take your application, put it into a database, and then using a network of entrepreneurs, investors who operate virtually, so that they don't go to one place to do the filtering. They do it as they have time. So, for example, if I was one of these people doing the filtering, I would be assigned so many applications to look at, and as it is convenient for me to do so, I would go online, read the applications, and give a rating for various attributes of that application. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Collectively, the idea is that the best applications are selected and then presented to the selection board, which consists largely of Puerto Rican entrepreneurs and investors. And they make the final choice in one meeting, which I got to tell you, before I went to the meeting, I was afraid that I'd be there for days going through the information because it's massive. So let's start with the basic information. The basic information is the company profile, and it's pretty simple stuff, the industry, product type, country, and so on. But I want to emphasize the fact that you as Puerto Ricans have an advantage. Okay, I just want to put it out there. Now, we're not going to select companies that are not going to be high quality because, just because the company's from Puerto Rico. That's not going to happen. But the Puerto Rican companies get the attention of the board much more so than other companies because we want to find the winners. We're very excited about getting Puerto Rican companies into the program. Here again, we're not talking about lowering the bar for them. And what I want to do is to make sure that over time, the quality of companies applying to P18 is high, so that we continue to be well represented. The last point here, capital raise. Most of the companies that apply have not raised capital yet. Some have, and it was surprising to me to see that some have raised sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital, and yet they're still interested in coming to a program like this. So it tells you something. Well, it might be that they just want a vacation in Puerto Rico. On the other hand, maybe they see value in being in Puerto Rico as a gateway to maybe the Latin American market or the other way around, which is one of the key benefits of this program. We're selling this as a gateway both to North America for Latin American companies and Latin America for North American companies. Oops. Okay, then the application section. Nothing special here, but I want to emphasize this, the importance of Parallel 18. So as part of the application, you have to describe why you think the company belongs in Parallel 18. And the judges in the final selection meeting look at this very carefully, because what they're looking for are companies who are likely to stay in Puerto Rico after the program. Now, if you're from Puerto Rico, here again, that's an advantage because you're most likely to stay. But we want to reduce the possibility, if possible, that they just come here for a few months and then leave without having any impact on the economy. So that section is taken very importantly, and even if you are from Puerto Rico, you need to pay attention to that and describe in detail why you think the program, Parallel 18 program, will be beneficial to you, but further how Puerto Rico, being a business in Puerto Rico, is going to be a benefit to you. The other one is the team bios. Now, in some cases, I have seen that the selection board will look at a company and see that there's some weaknesses, but they see that the team is a strong team. What does that mean? It means that they have the right background, the right experience, the right industry knowledge, and it also means they have the technical skills. One of the things that we see very often is the company wants to do an app or some software, but they don't have good technical people on the team. That's a red flag, because however great their vision is, if they can't execute because they don't have the right people, we're not going to accept them into the program. Now, after the Y-Noodle organization does the filtering, they provide this information. There's an overall rank of the company based on the 200 to 250 companies that apply. There's a rank based on the score each company receives in the following categories: the product or service. It's a 1 to 5 system, by the way. Market, competitive positioning, team mix qualifications, and so on. So the judging, the virtual judging through Y-Noodle, compiles the numbers and creates an average score, and then the rank is identified. And we generally take then the first 90 to 100 companies for the final selection. To give you an idea of the backgrounds of the selection board members, here's the complete list. And as you see, we have representation from various organizations and experiences. My background is as an angel investor. Everyone knows Laura Quintero from Guayacán. Ramphis, who is a longtime member of the community now in New York. He came down for the meeting, and so on. So these are the people who make the final decisions, and it would be good for you to meet them, introduce yourself, so that they have some connection to you, because in the final selection meeting, sometimes that comes up. For example, if somebody says, I know that person, and that person is great for these reasons, that actually has some sway in the final decision process. So the format of the selection meeting is as follows. There's about 100 applications that we have to look through before we get to the meeting. And it's a lot of homework. I mean, it took me days to get through all of them and decide which ones I would vouch for in the meeting. And then during the meeting, we decided on the following format. There would be a 2 or 3 minute discussion. We don't have time for more than that. And then there's a vote by raise of hands, yes or no or abstain. And that is tabulated, and then later we rank the companies. Hello? Okay. And based on the votes, we decide who the top companies are. And we usually wind up with some companies that tie, and we have to then revisit those to decide which ones will be selected. Now, one question that comes up often is, how come you have 36 companies instead of 40? Weren't you supposed to select 40? Well, we tried to select 40, but in the selection process, we decided that at a certain point, we had enough quality companies, and we arrived at, I think, 38 as the final number. But when we extended the invitation, one couldn't make it because of health reasons, and another for some business reasons. They couldn't come down for that time. So we ultimately wound up with 36 companies. These are some of the typical comments, rejection comments. The company does not scale. That came up a lot. And what that means is the company business model requires too much labor to make it grow quickly. So it's not a company that has a possibility of global scale. We're not interested. Too many competitors. It's very common. This is interesting. Competitors are failing. So the board members are very knowledgeable about what's going on in the tech community around the country. And they know that there are companies out there, perhaps in exactly the same field, doing well or not. And that has a big impact on whether you're selected. If other companies are failing to penetrate that market, it's likely that you're going to be rejected as well. And of course, the final one, team is weak. Favorable comments that I've heard is, I know this team, I know these people, I think they're going to be able to do something good. So, as I said, get to know, if possible, some of these selection board members. Puerto Rico is a good place for this business. So whether it's related to the gateway idea, going to Latin America, or the other way around, or whether it's related to something about tourism in Puerto Rico, if Puerto Rico is a good place for that business, that company is looked upon very favorably. And so these are some of the common elements of successful applicants that I saw in the selection process. Now I'm just going to close and tell you that the next round is coming up soon. May 9th is when they're going to open up the application process. It closes in June 12th, and the program starts last week of August. So I hope you guys are excited about this program. It's a great program. But you need to do your homework to get the business up to a level where it becomes attractive for the judges. And what that means is that because it's such a competitive process, there are hundreds of companies applying and an increasing number every round, you need to stand out. And you have to stand out by showing some traction. You need to stand out by demonstrating that Puerto Rico is a good place to do this business. And to the extent possible, you need to reach out and get to know some of the selection board members. Okay, any questions? Yeah. Yeah, usually two people, 2 or 3 is what I've seen. Now, it could be one person, but somebody has to be available full-time to go through this program. You can't be a part-time entrepreneur at PAT. Okay. Does not have to be the founder. Yeah.
Are there controls in place for the equity or not the equity, sorry, the capital that's given getting into the program? Can you tell us a little bit about the controls that are in place on how that's used?
Yes. Each entrepreneur is given a budget, and the money is released in 2 tranches. So the 40K isn't distributed right away. Initially, there's the first tranche is 20K, and there's a budget that's developed by the entrepreneur with the guidance of the P18 administrative staff on how much should be spent in certain categories. Okay, so it is controlled. It's 4.5 months. Yeah.
Duration.
Duration is 4.5 months. Now, I should say that you are not required to be in the co-working space full-time for that period. Many of the Puerto Rican companies continue to operate in their old offices. That's okay.
Another question?
How many hours weekly do we have to dedicate to the program?
I don't think there's a certain number of hours that you're supposed to be there. But in order to take full advantage of the program, you need to, at a minimum, be available for mentoring. Now, the mentoring is a key element of the program in that the mentors in residence are the ones that give you the feedback you need to make progress during the program. And the mentors in residence are expected to spend 1 hour every 2 weeks per company. So the very minimum level of commitment that you have is exactly that. You have to spend 1 hour every 2 weeks with a mentor. That is a requirement. But beyond that, they're not going to keep tabs on you. There are many other events and educational opportunities that you should take advantage of. Oh, I should mention one thing. If you are a slacker and you're not getting the work done and you're not participating, you will be cut at the halfway point.
Okay.
Most people will not be cut, but that's part of the pressure, yeah.
And do you take any ¿cómo se dice? Equity from the company?
No equity.
That's beautiful. It's equity free. That's insane.
Oh, let me just say one thing about that. There are companies out there that are labeled startup backpackers. Okay, now what does that mean? These are companies who are expert in filling out the applications for equity-free programs around the world. The first one, as you know, is Startup Chile, but now there are many others. And what they do is they've mastered the art of filling out the applications to be selected, and they have this world tour planned where they go from place to place, like a backpacker, claiming that they're startups, but they're not actually getting the work done. Fortunately, we're wise to these people now. The Y Noodle organization, as well as Sebastian, who has experience in Startup Chile, he knows how to identify those people, and they'll be eliminated before it gets to the selection board.
I have a question. So I understand the requirement to have at least one team member be fully involved in the company. Now, that being said, can the other team members that may not be full-time also participate in the educational events and the mentoring sessions?
Yes, that's fine. So you have a partner who comes periodically to the program. That's absolutely fine. No, not at all. We have companies in the program who have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, as a selection board member, I saw one company. I was very curious because they had raised a lot of money, maybe as close to $500,000 or so. And I really wondered, why would a company like that want to be a part of this? But otherwise, the company qualified and looked like a very good candidate. Yeah, 3 years. So if the company is older than 3 years, it's not considered a startup according to the P18 definition.
How about if you have multiple ideas of startups? If you have 2 ideas, you want to start 2 different things.
Okay, let me emphasize that if it's an idea only, it's not going to be accepted. It's got to have some traction, meaning you have to have a product and customers. Revenue would be nice, but you have to have at least a product and some customers to show that you are more advanced in the idea stage.
Okay. Would you consider ideas that positively affect millions of lives, but not necessarily our for-profit, public benefit corporations, non-for-profit charitable startups?
Yeah, I'm afraid not. This is really focused on for-profit ventures. There are other programs out there for nonprofits, but this is focused on for-profits.
More questions? No more questions?
You can approach me at networking time. I'd be happy to answer any more.
Please give Ken a big round of applause. So now we're gonna do open mic, and we're gonna have a couple of people come and just pitch an idea or a project. I'm gonna pitch my own, but I think we're gonna start with Miguel, right? Miguel Vacas from Grupo Guayacán.
So, okay, so guys, we are here to talk to you about Springboard. What's Springboard? It's basically an accelerator that we have started thanks to the SBA Growth Accelerator Fund. So we won a competition with the SBA where we're basically doing Springboard. It's basically the purpose or objective of the program is to look for different entrepreneurial ventures that have gone through different programs and are looking to be investment readiness. We're doing this not only, so we got funded by the SBA for this program, and we're doing it along with the Angel Research Institute. If you guys are not familiarized with the Angel Research Institute, it's basically one of the biggest programs that Kauffman Foundation has, basically to educate different entrepreneurs, different angels, to becoming more investment savvy regarding to those subjects. So who should attend to this program? Basically, we're looking for an innovative business concept. We're looking for scalable businesses, at least 2 members, and have any interest in raising capital or launch to scale, okay? The type of, we're gonna be talking about our different subjects. It's gonna be basically 6 workshops. It's gonna be, we're gonna be talking about pitching. We're gonna be talking about financials, governance, due diligence, exit strategies. It's going to be interactive coaching sessions. If you guys haven't gone to coaching sessions, it's great practice for you guys as startups. And at the end of the course, we have demo day with different potential investors. So it's very, very important for you to actually have your pitch down and have an understanding of what you're going to be asking for. Okay, we're going to be doing this along with Troy Noss, as you can see there. He's going to be the lead instructor. He's the vice chairman of the Angel Research Institute. And then we have also Susan Preston. She's a trustee. Both of them are great people. They were very, very fun, very dynamic. And basically all you have to do is go to the bit.ly/springboard link. Right now it's not active, so if you try to access it, you won't be able to access it. But we're going to be starting on May 2nd. Until June 2nd. And the program is going to be launching on August 27th. So if you have any other questions, you can always ask for Kayla Lopez. You can contact her at klopez@guayacan.org or just call us 787-641-6028. So that'd be it. Yep.
Thank you, Miguel.
Oh, by the way, last thing. We have flyers. Adamari and I will be having flyers. There she is. So if you want more information, you can just come to us and we'll be handing them out, okay?
So the purpose of this project is to help local entrepreneurs learn about the new technologies, innovation that is going on in Puerto Rico. The problem in Puerto Rico about agriculture is huge. The problem globally is huge. This is a global problem. At the speed that populations globally are growing, we don't have enough food for everybody, you know. And then in Puerto Rico, we consume, 80% of what we consume is imported. And we have beautiful land here. As a matter of fact, there's land here that is completely organic because for the last 30 years, nothing has been done with it. There are countries cleaning their land and having problems cleaning their lands to get them organically. We have them already. There's many land in Puerto Rico. There's many know-how. What we want to do is propel it, bring a new generation of millennials that want to go into the agriculture. We're bringing farmers. We're giving people from Uruguay, from New York. They're doing vertical farming. And these people don't have land to do agriculture, and they're doing huge vertical farming. They're coming here. We have experts from here. Stories of wonderful people that are doing great things. So, as we did with the H2 Tech conference to propel innovation-based entrepreneurship in animals, to propel women empowerment, we want to help the agricultural ecosystem. If you have an idea, if you want to learn more about this, please come. If you don't have an idea, no problem. Meet all the problems. You know that for a business, you need a problem, you need a solution, and you need a market that is willing to pay. There's a huge problem here. We're looking for solutions, hackers. Come and listen to the problems, find solutions. And there's a huge market that wants to buy good, organic, good flavor food locally. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Fernando Montilla. I'm the Executive Director of Studio Lab at Sagrado Corazon. And the type of technology we deal with is mainly 3D modeling, 3D animation, 3D simulation. We do also 3D printing. Now, not everybody here wants to go to college to do this type of thing, although we have a program that will walk you through the basics of 3D technology. But you might have kids who are smart, who like this area. And we have designed some programs for kids as well. We have what we call boot camps. We have boot camp coming up on the 30th. It's a Saturday. It's a 5-hour intensive course where you cover the basics of 3D. We do basic modeling, basic lighting, and basic character animation. And also, starting in June, we're going to have a workshop for kids. It's a 4-week course. Each week is different. So we cover everything from characters to architectural modeling, virtual reality. It's fun stuff for kids. And we know there are a lot of geeks out there who would like to jump in and play with some of these technologies. So that's our website. We're studiolab.sagrado.edu. I'm going to be around, so if you need to exchange some cards, I'll be happy to do that. So I hope to see some of you there. Thank you.
I want to amplify Giancarlo's message. And I want to tell you that we're going to have an event coming up May 27th that we're doing with the Institute of Investigation of the University of Interamericana. And it's called Leap Puerto Rico. The font kind of changed it a little bit from my original setting, but I just want to give you a rundown on the Leap initiative. Here you go. Okay. All right. So basically, we're doing an event to help leapfrog Puerto Rico through innovation and technology. What is leapfrog? Basically, we're at a point where we're falling behind in many of the economic, entrepreneurship, and technology indicators. So what are we want to do? We need to leapfrog forward. And this initiative is a multi-sectoral initiative that basically is going to help us do what we have to do in 10 years and accelerate it for 4 years. So we're falling behind with some of the country's regional competitors, We have been recently in Cuba, and they are graduating close to 3,000 programmers every year just in Havana. Panama has a city of knowledge. Dominican Republic is investing heavily in programmers. So we actually need to move fast and faster and bolder than anyone else. So what we're doing, we're recruiting global guru innovation speaker, Mr. Scott Steinberg, and he's gonna do, he's the first of a speaker series, and he's gonna be talking about leapfrogging through innovation, a new economic model for economic development and growth. This is gonna be held May 27th at the Marriott in Condado. And people like Richard Branson said, if you really want to know about business, you should refer to Scott Steinberg. We're recruiting him for a consulting, not an event. He's gonna stay with us, and we're basically building alliances to jumpstart economic development through innovation. I'm not gonna go through all the details, but we're gonna be announcing the regular schedule. So it's not only Scott Steinberg. We want to bring people to an innovation town hall, to basically another promoting country innovation panel. We're doing an alliance with the Puerto Rico Science, Technology, and Research Trust. And this is all going to be the first event of a series of events that are going to be happening in Puerto Rico. So May 27th, we're going to jumpstart the innovation conversation with Scott Steinberg. Carlos Cobian has AgroHack August 28th. August 28th and 29th, the Puerto Rico Manufacturers Association is doing a hackathon, the first hackathon event to integrate real challenges with 1,200 industrial members. And June 7th, we have, for the fourth year in a row, the Puerto Rico Tech Summit that not only will bring the U.S. Digital Service Agency, will bring global speakers from Netflix, from Uber, and from many other very interesting companies. We'll be talking about virtual reality and some of the very cool stuff that can disrupt our economy. So I look forward to seeing you in this event, in the Hackathon for Industriales, in Carlos Cobian's AgroHack, and maybe do a Puerto Rico Innovation Month next year. So thank you very much.
Once again, sorry. I just want to do a really cool announcement. So I tell you that we had some speakers sitting here, some mentors. So we're gonna have an amazing weekend this weekend called the Innovation Weekend, where we're gonna have Product Hunt tomorrow, and we're gonna be launching 3 companies you've never heard about, or probably 1 or 2 of them, to the global markets. And second, we're gonna have Cenas Empresariales. With Cenas Empresariales, we have mentors of the first cohort for the hustle houses here present, and we'll be there speaking, chilling, talking with you guys. So I want to introduce a couple of them. First one is Kieran O'Reilly. He's the awesomest dude. He's 20 years old. But
not as awesome as Gustavo and his brother Luciano, though.
So this kid, do you guys know what is GIF? Like a GIF, moving images? Yeah, he created it. And he dropped out of Harvard. The second speaker is Rajat Bagheera. He's a contributor at Forbes and created Third Eye, which is an application for the visually impaired to know what's in front of them. Another one of them is Connor Blakely. He is running a youth millennial marketing services, and his mentor is Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you guys heard about him before. Yeah, you know him. He's made over 1 billion impressions with just spending $10,000 in marketing, correct? Awesome. So another speaker is Fernando Rojo. He is working with Argentinian artisans and selling these amazing shoes with tribal patterns. And he was featured and nominated for one of the Inc. magazine coolest college startups. And Mike Klum. He is one of the kids who does amazing videos for the most renowned corporations you have ever seen. We do have a couple of other speakers coming in who created Chalk.com, for example, and eliminated all the paper and ink from 117,000 schools in Canada. And he's coming in tomorrow. We also have Christine Sloan, who've raised over $168 million in grants to invest in different nonprofits in Africa. And we have also Melissa Ruiz coming in a couple of hours, which was nominated for and given the Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst & Young. So if you guys really want to get shit done and have some fresh experience of what is really possible in the most unlikely places, join us in ProductCon tomorrow, 8 p.m., Cenas Empresariales on Saturday, and if you want to really chill, at 11 a.m. This Sunday, we're going to have a party in the rooftop of Dream Inn, and it's going to be the bomb. So come by, learn more about us.
A very quick announcement. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to raise capital at some point, there's a book you should read. It's called Venture Deals by Brad Feld. And Miguel let me know a couple of months ago, weeks ago, that there's an online course that starts this Sunday on the book, on Venture Deals. It's on a platform called Novo Ed. It's going to be given by the author, Brad Feld.
And Jason Mendelson.
Yep. And the best thing is that it's free. And I signed up, and I looked, and I think I was the only one from Puerto Rico. And please, también está, and join us.
It's actually a $200 course given for free. So I took it back in 2014. It's damn awesome. I really recommend it. And now it's for free. So please, this is our opportunity right now. So
Novo Ed. Education. Novo Ed. NOVOED.com. And the course is called Venture Deals.
Is Marianne Torres. We are the founders of Club Beso. And basically, Beso is this mobile web app concierge for beauty services. So for the women here, you can to have the experience through a membership, and you will go to a lot of very trendy salons that will get your hair very beautiful. We are also have a double lock because we are participating at Parallel, and we have Mr. Ken K as our mentor. So thanks for that, Ken. You could follow us at clubbeso.com. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hi, thank you for your time. My name is Cristiana, and I've actually been based in Seoul, Korea for the past 3 years. I came just to visit for Christmas, and I am staying. It's actually, yeah. But my brother lives here, and I'm just so blessed to be able to experience this amazing island. And I'm really happy to meet new people in the tech scene. So my team, we're based out in Seoul, and we are working on an Etsy benchmarked online platform for artists to put their products. And so far, it's different from Etsy, but it's very, very similar. But the difference is that my partner, he was working in offline exhibitions for a long time. So a lot of what he did prior to joining our team was making collabo products. So for example, I think it was, Airbnb was in Seoul, and they didn't know how to promote in early days, and they worked with him to make a bracelet promoting Airbnb, but it was local artist made. So we have very cool collaboration products, and mainly our vision is to empower artists by using an online platform. And my vision, I love Korea and I love Asia, but I also want to, because there are other competitors, there's no market leader for an Etsy Asia, but there are definitely competitors in Taiwan and Japan. So I would like us to start in Latin America and make the Etsy Latin America market leader, and then obviously merge with our Korea team. So that being said, I need a team out here in Puerto Rico. So if anyone's interested in this project and wants to contact me, I'm going to be here. And it's pretty easy. It's cristianaviva.org is my site, so if you don't remember that. But I'm here, and please, thank you, and I love Puerto Rico.
How's it going? My name is Michael Harrison. My co-founder Lisa and I started Puerto Rico Business Link. It's a platform designed to help people understand the benefits of some of the tax incentives that Puerto Rico provides. And it's not all just a certain group that people have this impression of. It's an opportunity for many startups and many young companies. I just spoke with the guy that does the shoes, and he wants to manufacture shoes in Puerto Rico. So for example, this gives him an opportunity to understand how Act 73 could benefit him by moving his manufacturing to Puerto Rico, how you compare that with Act 20, raise money from Act 185. I mean, this is a new opportunity to bring business to Puerto Rico and support the local economy through jobs. And yes, there's some tax savings, which helps us all go a little bit further. So what Puerto Rico Business Link does is it puts out resources, tools, guides, but most importantly, a service provider directory. So as you're considering the move to Puerto Rico and considering coming to Puerto Rico, or you don't know about it yet, but somebody mentioned it, this gives you a way to trust the providers you choose. If you try to do these things all on your own, as Mark can attest to, if there's one guy in this room that says, yes, it can be done by yourself, you don't need to hire any professionals. Well, that is true if your goal is to prove it can be done on its own and you don't need to hire any professionals. The reality is, if you want it done right, and if you don't want to have to spend 7 hours a day doing it, then you should probably look for the providers that can best help you in your area. So we have reviews based around the service providers that have startup packages, for example, or that specialize in healthcare, specialize in manufacturing. So you can go to prbusinesslink.com. We'll have a newsletter sign up real soon, but right now you can log in. We're going to be sending everybody that does log in invites to the newsletter. The guides are available. The directory's there. And if you are part of the Act 2022 community, please go and review any providers you've used. Or if you're part of the local community that has an opinion on how to help the community get a better impression of the providers that are on our site, please go and leave reviews. This is how we can grow the community and get more feedback than word of mouth and people funneling the business all to one place. So it helps even out the market. Thanks.
My name is Connor Blakely. I've been in Puerto Rico for the first time for like 4 hours. It's super awesome here. No, you guys are all great. I think everyone should just clap it up for Gustavo and Luciano. I don't think I've seen anyone as passionate about trying to make a change and make a real difference in their country. So everyone just... As he was talking about the event tomorrow and acceptable, there's no, unless it is a life-altering event, everyone should be there. The amount, not me aside, but the people who are going to be in the room tomorrow, not just hearing them speak, but getting a chance to meet with them, learn from them, ask them questions about their perspective is huge. And to be honest with you, I'm honored to be around those kind of people myself. I lost my train of thought. Wow. No, but yeah, everyone should be there tomorrow. And if you're not there, if you have a baby, if your parents are in town, if you're not there, feel free to go to the website and find our names and Google them and tweet us or email us, and we would be happy to help. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Geraldo Perez. I am the CEO and founder of DanceApp. It's an app that helps dancers find dance partners. You can find us at danceup.io and sign up if you're into dancing. But I am actually standing up here because I wanted to give a shout out to the Founder Institute graduates. We're actually all here because we wanted to show the community that we are really committed to helping grow the community here in Puerto Rico. So yeah, that's it.
Hello, my name is Fernando. I'm a sophomore at Penn in Philadelphia, and well, not for long. And I'm the founder at Patos, which is a social impact shoe brand that sells handcrafted footwear made by artisans in Latin America. And we're finally going to be able to be scalable thanks to a mobile supply chain that will enable any artisan with just any kind of camera phone to sell to anyone across the world. So that means growing their customer bases from this small, often impoverished customer base, very, very crippled economy, to now anyone. And so that's really exciting, and I wanted to commend Christiana for your business, because it seems like we have a very similar frame of mind. And I just want to say I'm really appreciative for the shot to be here in Puerto Rico. This is super cool. My whole family's from Argentina, and I've always been looking for a way to kind of reconnect with my Latin American culture, having grown up in the United States. and working on Patos and getting to meet people like I have today, and all the opportunities that have arisen from the entrepreneurial community have really shown me how cool this kind of stuff is. So I just want to thank you guys all, and hope that you get a chance to come out in the next couple of days, especially Saturday, to meet us all and talk a little bit. And I'm also looking for some really cool team members. So if anyone knows some just amazing marketers that want to make a kick-ass shoe brand and change the way that people view the people that make their shoes, then please come reach out. And look us up. It's wearpatos.com. I'm always plugging it. I will always plug it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kieran O'Reilly, and it's been pretty awesome hearing about all of your businesses and your plans for the future. I've really learned a lot about Puerto Rico and some of the things that you all are working on. I work on GIFs.com. That's spelled GIFS.com. We are a short media platform. We basically build tools that allow anyone to express themselves and their ideas via short media. And so how can this help you? As a budding entrepreneur, as a bank, as somebody who wants their country to do better? Well, there's huge problems with getting your message across. If you want to get your message across right now, you could write a whole long Medium post. You could write all of these words down and hope someone reads it. But you know what? People don't have that much time. They don't have time to read things. They don't have time to go out there and watch a full 5-minute long video. Even if my mom sends me a 5-minute long video, I'm gonna be a little hesitant. I'll be like, Mom, you know, like, what's this video about? Am I gonna like this video? I'm gonna have to watch this minute-long ad to even see the content. So that's where our short media really comes in handy. What a GIF is, it's basically a short video, a clip, maximum of 15 seconds, that you can then post on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, on your blog, on your website, and people see your content. What makes GIFs.com different is when you create a GIF, you can now link it anywhere you want. So you can link it back to an article with more information. You can link it back to a video. And people can use that to go and watch more about what your message is and click back and get more engagement. So what we're doing right now is we're building tools for you to create these things very easily. So we built a tool called GIF YouTube. You go to any YouTube video, you put GIF right in the URL, press enter, you can get on our website, make a GIF in like 8 seconds. We're building tools that allow you to edit your videos, crop your videos, because as a small business, you don't really have the time and technology as these large production studios to build, spend thousands of dollars on Final Cut Pro or all these other things to make a large production video, especially if it's going to be 10 seconds. So if you're trying to promote something, if you want to get something out there, and if you want a new way to get your message across, check out GIFs.com, make a few GIFs, send them to your friends. Shoot me an email if you do. I'm Kieran at GIFs.com. I'd love to see it and help you out. Have a great one. Hope to see you all soon.
What's up, guys? So let me just say, first of all, that your country, this place is fucking awesome. Like, I just love it so much. It really is, though, because it's my second time here. The first time around, I was just here in December for a couple of days, and I just hit up some of my random friends on Facebook. I'd never met them, but they just showed me this amazing culture you guys have, so loving and so relaxed and really enjoying life, unlike the American culture, which, everyone competing against each other, trying to beat each other. But what I want to ask you guys about and really encourage you guys to do is really pursue entrepreneurship for students, right? So I started my first company when I was 16, and I just learned so much from doing anything from accounting to finance to building a product to commercializing it to marketing to managing people to managing myself, right? And now what I'm trying to do is encourage other people, young people, to build their own company during school. So we started this VC fund called Prototype Capital, and the idea is that we're going to fund you, we're going to pay you to stay in school and work on a project yourself, right? So right now we have campus partners set up at 8 American universities, mostly on the West Coast, but some on the East Coast as well. And so now these 8 campus partners at each university find deal flow and forward it, and we basically invest $5K, $10K, or $20K convertible notes to them, right? So now what I'm trying to do is kind of expand this internationally, and Puerto Rico is one place I want to go next. So if you guys are involved with education and all, right? If you're involved in like the school system, and you're young and you want to help other young people around you to build their own companies, let me know. I'd love to talk to you and see how we can work together. And obviously, if you're involved in venture capital, angel investing, or if you just have some cash laying around that you want to invest into your country, let me know. I think we could really work together to help young people. But yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Well, thank you all for attending the San Juan Tech Meetup. Thank you, Ken. all the speakers, everybody for attending. Please be aware of all the events that are happening, contribute to the community, and rock on. Thank you.